be pre-warned, this video might be triggering for some, and if you can't handle the truth, then just leave right now. Alright, so not many of you might know, but I am a fully licensed CPA auditor and investor, so this is kind of right up my alley, and I'm doing this video mostly for shits and giggles and entertainment purposes only. So here is like probably the most important snippet you're gonna read. The supply agreement that triggered the whole caveat emptor on the stock. So this is very important. Okay, so this is the official start of thing. Once again, I'm not here to like discourage you or encourage you from buying this stock. I'm just doing a neutral read through of what it actually means. All right, so I already took some notes on this. So the main thing that they're trying to tell you is that they have these cannabis seeds, and they're not selling the cannabis seeds. They're not like loaning it out. They're just growing cannabis seeds and then compounding the cannabis seeds. Sometimes they give them to like a regrower, sometimes a CEO and or chairman. Dr. Jamaluddin, he grows the seeds and he gives it back to you, but then he takes some shares in exchange. So as you can see, from December 31st, within a span of 6 months, they have doubled their seeds, which is, it looks really impressive, but it's quite easy if you're dealing with like a biological asset. You could just, plant the seeds, they regrow, and then you get the seeds back, and then you got some more seeds. Seeds, you know how seeds are. It's not really that hard to double. So they say they're double their seeds, and then they're valuing them at roughly $1 a pop. All right, so this is kind of like a story of seeds. And most of this stuff is about seeds. Expenses is negligible. This is like 2-3 months of my regular expenses right here. Accrued expenses, this is mostly due to a lawsuit with the previous CEO. It's offset by around 250 million shares. We'll see that later. All right, so lawsuit, don't worry about this line. Related party line of credit, that's just I think Jamaluddin, he lent the company money, or he opens like a line of credit for them, so they're lending. It's like the CEO kind of giving money to fuel his own business type of deal. It's not really with a bank or anything. Now, when Jamaluddin gives seeds to TXTM, so these are two separate entities. Don't confuse or commingle the two of them. These are two separate entities. So when Jamaluddin gives seeds at $1 a seed to TXTM, he takes out a share. So this, as you can see, is roughly like 250 million in shares. He's like additional paid in capital. I think he gets the preferred Series A shares. So these aren't your normal shares. He gets some special shares with special characteristics. All right. So that it's a pretty small company. That's just the balance sheet in a nutshell. But as all good investors know, the real details are in the goddamn footnotes. Let's go to the footnotes. They own like 85% of the total voting shares, so basically controlled by them. If you notice, I think in 2022 they did have like a earnings positive, but in reality it was just unpaid consulting fees from the previous CEO that were canceled. And when in accounting, when something is like expense is canceled, it's treated as a revenue kind of. So this is kind of misleading. All right, as of January 30th, 2025, the company had stockholders equity of 500 million, and total liabilities of 700,000. On paper, like, oh my god, great, hidden gem, awesome, amazing, but it's like how they got to the 500 million of assets is with 500 million seeds. And there's a lot of question is, if you really do have 500 million in seeds, why are you just not selling them and taking $500 million? Everyone could use 500 million. So there's something gone amiss here, and you have to put on your thinking glasses and read between the lines here a little bit. So yeah, it's just misinformation here. And if it's considered as inventory, then it will be technically considered towards working capital, which is, and right here, this is kind of important. Notice that since this is a US based balance sheet. We are reporting on GAAP. Why is it important that we're basing this on GAAP? Is that the 1.25 billion seeds is going to be recorded at the lower of estimated historical cost or net realizable value. So even if all the products and all that stuff derived from the seeds is worth like 15, like $1 billion, and you have like a trillion, quintillion company, it's going to be realized at the historical cost, which is roughly $1 per seed. We're assuming $1 a pop for the seeds. Net realizable value. Here's the tricky part. I put it important here, but the tricky part is that they're just holding the seeds. They're not really converting the seeds to any products of any kind. So what is the true net realizable value of a seed? Just the seed, and you're just holding the seed, and you're not really processing the seed. Notice on the balance sheet there is no equipment or anything else that would hint at them processing the seed. Related party transactions. During 2022, company's president and chairman of the board paid certain bills, including registration fees and legal fees on behalf of the company. Such payments aggregated to approximately $8,000, and then the company or the chairman gave him a line of credit with roughly $100,000 at 4% per year. So in essence, it's who's the chairman? I think Jamaluddin giving the company $100,000 loan, and then like a line of credit, and then they're charging them 4% of interest. So if you're wondering, hey, who the heck is paying for all these bills? It's technically Jamaluddin, even though it's recorded on your balance sheet. So in the end, you'll end up paying for it. Here it says that Jamaluddin is indeed buying shares in the open market under the program. Not sure what program, but he has bought $89 million. Let me pick up 89 million shares, sorry. So if this is a story of seeds, we now are diving into the details of the seeds and how they came to be. Alright, so December 15, we're going way back. We got an initial contribution of 15 million. This, whatever this is, maybe we have like a seed expert or something out there. Agenus cannabis sativa seeds. No idea. I looked all through the internet. No idea what the actual like fair market value of a raw seed is. And it's kind of confusing following the CEO's Twitter and whatnot to see what the heck they're doing with the seeds, and like, should we value them as like cattle feed, which is like $3 a pound, or should we value them as like cannabis, like weed, gehan seeds, which is like $15-16 a pound? They're being extremely vague, but the cost to make these seeds is roughly $1 per seed, and going forward we will see that sometimes they contribute at 40 cents a seed, but for now let's just keep it at $1 per seed. All right, so it's fair enough. You know what I mean? Like, I'm skeptical that it's $1 a seed, but if this is what they're saying, let's just base it off $1 a seed. So as you can see, people contribute more seeds at $1, and then they gave the seeds out to a grower to also multiply their seed, but then the grower gave back, you have one hemp plant, and I'm guessing a hemp plant yields more than one seed, so blah blah blah, they gave out like, okay, so they received 60 million. Is that 60 million or is that 600 million? It's gotta count the zeros here. Yeah, I think it might be 600 million. So so they just give all their seeds to some grower guy. He gets 600 million plants, and then he gives the seeds back to them, all at $1 per seed. Like, if this sounds like a really great like business on paper, but why are they not selling the seeds? Like, are they already growing it? They're getting more seeds. Why not just sell the seeds and get some in cash, so then they can have like some money to spend? You know what I mean? I don't know what the heck they're like, what the game plan is, but so here is like probably the most important snippet you're gonna read. The supply agreement that triggered the whole caveat emptor on the stock. So this is very important. Such as a company can fulfill orders for 1.25 billion seeds, which is where we're at right now. The company entered into a supply agreement. The company entered into a goddamn supply agreement with its president and chairman of the board in his capacity president of the board in his capacity as an independent fourth generation farmer. I don't know why he has added in that fourth generation part, but he is a independent fourth generation farmer who controls, among other things, a 5,000 hectare farm in the jurisdiction of Newcastle, South Africa. So you have seeds, and your CEO has a 5,000 hectare farm, and he's gonna take your seeds and he's gonna process them, and he's gonna make the money from it. The CEO himself is gonna make the money from it. So it's kind of like Elon Musk and Starlink. If you buy Tesla, it has nothing to do with Starlink. If you buy Tesla, it has nothing to do with SpaceX, XAI, Twitter, anything. It's just Tesla. Tesla is Tesla. TXTM is TXTM. Whatever Jamaluddin does on his side business has nothing to do with us. The company does not plant, own, or control any farm, and it has no permit. There you go. Written in plain English, the company does not plant, own, or control any farm, and has no permit. Okay. Alright, the company's president and chairman of the board in his capacity as an independent farmer and a team managed by a company CEO, Dylan Duploy, in his individual capacity are responsible for planting hemp crops derived from the genus at a farm controlled by the company's chairman of the board. In the future, the company's chairman may provide the company with access into, or the company may receive benefit from permits controlled by the chairman. What does that even mean? Who puts this on a financial that you may get something like, to invest based on something that you may get from a dude that you don't know? I don't know. It's like investing in like a homeless dude who, and you try to get like a revenue stream off the like how much a homeless dude gets from the goodwill of others. That's highly skeptical. I don't know. There are no guarantees. They literally even put there are no guarantees that this will occur. I didn't write this. The auditor wrote this. I trust the other auditor. Furthermore, the company does not need such access specifically to permits held by its president and chairman or in its individual capacity. I think the auditor caught on to their game and they're now like putting this, to carry out such as fulfilling a sugar product. And all right, so the auditor caught on to the game and they just want to clarify that for you investors, you hopeful and young investors. So, you know what I mean? Like, that is it. This is my pre-audit release of what I think about TXTM. I think you shouldn't buy it. I think you should stay away from it. But this is just my neutral analysis. This is all just information for before the actual audit comes out. So I'm kind of just taking like a guesstimate on what the actual audit might say. This is cut and dry. No tweets. No nothing. I'm not basing information off of tweets. I'm not basing information off of like what could happen or in the future or anything. This is just raw facts, cut and dry, right here. Alright, if you like the video or if you want me to make another video like this, then comment in the section down below.